Yeah. Right. They are. They're setting up tripods as I speak. Okay, bye. So here we are at the Cleveland County Courthouse. Thank you so much. And the ruling is that we won. Isn't that awesome? So we're just going to walk around here and see what the local news wonks are up to. We'll see what, is this channel 4? What's up?
Hey man.
Is this channel 4?
Hey.
Alright. God, could it be any more unpleasant out here? It could be. It could be howling and we could have sleet. Well, I'm one of the volunteers at PIKE Off, and we are having a major celebration. We won! Judge Olsen kicked OTA's butts.
What did he say?
Well, they texted
I wasn't in there.
Hey, there's Ashley. Yeah, so I'm on PIKE Off camera duty here. Hey, what's up, Vince?
So they want to know.
Good to see you.
I was just downtown. I wasn't even gonna come.
He's heading over with Stan.
It's a good thing you brought your cold weather clothes with
Well,
you.
I wasn't
you know?
planning on getting out of the car.
You said they won.
So, yeah, I was told that the judge ruled in our favor in every possible way.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. And so I said, well, we're going to a local watering hole after this, and the first round is on me.
So Teresa Elam, who is Stan's
Legal assistant.
she
Yeah.
said we won on all counts.
Yeah, I know. How awesome is that? Hey, there goes my phone again.
So what do you mean when he says he kicked butt? What exactly did
Ask
he
him.
say?
Just,
Hello, this is Dave.
this
This is Dave.
This is his Stan, the older
Yeah.
attorney. This is his legal aid. She said we won on all counts. This was both. This was the Open Meetings Act and everything else. So what does it mean?
What did you actually win?
Okay.
That's a
I
great question.
wouldn't
I'm
be
not
able to
sure.
do that.
I know. I see.
I'm actually standing here with Ashley, and Vince just showed up a little while ago, and we're standing around talking and shooting the breeze. And
Where in California?
I was in Northern. I was in Wine Country. Why? Where?
My parents grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
And I have family in Tracy and Antelope. Yeah.
Richard probably could. Vince might be able to. I don't know. I'll ask him.
So crazy. 5,300 homes in one night. The doctor that bought our house, they lost everything.
I was considering a job in Monterey.
Okay.
And that was probably what my voice would have been.
You would have to live in the car.
Yes.
Okay. I shall do my best. Okay. Thanks. All right.
Paradise Burn.
Well, this is going to take a lot
I
of
mean,
editing.
literally the whole town. Well, we were 17, 19.
Woo. Mr. Ward,
Yeah, man.
how you doing, brother?
How are you?
Would you like to make a statement just to the PIKE Off people?
All right, we'll talk a little bit. I'm just thrilled that we got this result for everyone that's adversely affected. And the PIKE Off people, we expect the same type of success from as well.
Absolutely. Well, thanks.
Good government spoke.
Finally.
Yeah. Common sense prevailed.
Richard and those boys gonna be a little late.
Right.
Hey, Stan. How you doing, sir? How are you? Doing all right, yeah. Karen, let's see you with me. Let's see. Do you think?
We could just stick it. I think let's stick it.
Let's stick it.
Well, that's obviously an error.
I'm gonna have Vince, just put this on audio.
And I want to thank the sheriff's department
Hey, we got the TV here. Let me call you right back.
Okay, here we go.
for getting us out of the wind and maybe saving us from getting the flu or.
No frostbite.
God, it might be COVID.
Stan Ward, no, this is Randy Carter, hang on. I was ready to start.
How you doing?
Doing all right, how are you?
Hey, we got, was a win for us today.
You know, you can say.
Just get very close.
Hey, we're inside the, were you checking on the west side? Yeah, come on.
I did not recognize you.
Come in, but we're staying right here in this area.
Bobby shut down, but who else coming in?
Are we waiting for Richard?
Yes.
Get out of the way. Everybody come through.
There's Alexi.
Hey, Alexi, come on in here, man.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
So nice to see everyone.
You're okay.
I got you.
Long call, Richard.
He's on
He's on his way.
You got sound? You can hear me?
There's Richard's son here.
No, it hasn't started yet.
Steve, can you hear me?
Who's Richard?
Steve,
He's on his way.
Okay.
can you hear Steve?
Good.
It's important that we not get that far east.
Yeah, we can't, yeah, he wants us to stay up close here, and they're kind enough to come down, open up, and get us out of the wind, so I deeply appreciate the Cleveland County Sheriff
You're here.
Sorry, I don't mean
and his deputies who are very kind.
Absolutely. Am I good for you right there? Gotcha, yeah, I just don't want to go like that. So we're waiting for Richard Lockhart to show up and we'll start this.
Yeah, he'll be here in just a sec. Is he on his way?
He is on his way here, so.
He'll be late to his own funeral.
Not if we can help it. Friends have to help each other out, so. I'll make sure he shows
I'll
up.
ask you. Do you have a copy of the roller machines?
I should. Yes, I will eventually. Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
Tell
well, sir. How are you
He's
doing? Victoria's Day, huh?
Check the transcript website.
This is one of those moments where I can actually say that I love it when a plan comes together, so this actually came together, so. For you, it's an A-team reference, so.
So what were these computer issues earlier?
Oh, it was on the judge's side, you know, there's a reason we use Mac.
I'm assuming maybe there's someone that's here.
DOS-based systems anymore, so. I'm a Mac fan.
You said DOS-based system.
They
What
never
is that?
fail. Yeah. I'm surprised that the court system in OCN hasn't updated from DOS and Linux days.
We were joking about that.
Is that Teresa?
It was.
Hey, Teresa.
So it was done
Good to see
together
ya.
and then uploading.
It's a happy day.
To us and uploading to OCN. So.
I'm talking to Teresa. No real delay on
You know, we were a little worried, like, he's contemplating how he's going to respond. And, unfortunately for us, it was computer issues. So that excuse still works today.
Well, yeah.
Is that Richard?
No, that's Beth. Or that's, yes.
Hey, Alexi, what'd you do with Richard? What'd you do with Richard?
So Richard just wants his land.
How far away is Richard?
We'll note here in the
They should be
second.
folding their tents inside and be sneaking out of town.
We may start.
Well, they can.
Hello. So there's like, excuse me, there's like a little, here I go.
OGDs did a great job there.
They did. They did a great job.
Better than most.
We love you, you guys, man. You guys rock.
You're our lead plaintiff.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. All right, you guys want to get this show started?
All right, go for it, Sam. You guys ready? Everybody ready?
I'll pay attention to what they want.
If you want to just look at one person, whether that be me or Ashley or anybody here, that's probably not, but up to you, sir. Stan, just to get this started, we just got the ruling. The judge found that the OTA violated the Open Meeting Act. Your thoughts in this moment?
Well, the judge found that they willfully violated the Open Meeting Act, which is more meaningful. But what it means overall is hopefully we truly have open government in the state of Oklahoma, that the citizens will be well informed and we will not have surprises such as this in the future. So I think the judge made a wonderful ruling that's very well worded and it's easy to understand. And hopefully it sends the right message to all state agencies, not just the OTA. But the citizens of this state need to be informed and advised of what's taking place that affects them on a daily basis. And certainly this affected a number of people and still does. We know the fight's probably not over for good, but we're here for the long run and we intend to win. And I just want to tell you, we have Cassie Hirschfield, who's our lead plaintiff, and we had a team of people put together, lawyers and lay people that did an extraordinary job of providing information. We've got a Ward 5 councilman standing to my right, Councilman Tortorello, who has done a great job of representing every one of us, fighting for us, and seeing that we've had this day that we're all celebrating. And I just thank God for the results.
Amen.
Can you speak to the fact that this was won on summary judgment? How common is summary judgment granted, and is that unique in this case?
Summary judgments are not favored. We have a constitution that says cases are to be decided by jury trial, but there's a lot of exceptions to that. You only have trials when there's issues of fact in dispute. There were no issues of fact in dispute, and so it boiled down to the arguments that were being advanced. Did these agendas give reasonable notice to the public of the business to be conducted, and were those violations willful? And those are both answered in the positive in this lawsuit.
What are the consequences of a willful Open Meeting Act violation?
It invalidates actions taken in violation.
And so just so we understand, what were the items of consequence that were deemed invalid as they related to access?
Well, we have two issues. There's the January 25, 2022, and we also have the February 22, 2022 agendas. The OTA was planning to unveil or to roll out the Access Oklahoma program, which is a $5 billion 15-year plan for road and highway infrastructure in the state of Oklahoma without telling the public. Among other things, contracts have been let for various engineering firms that only total about $69 million. That's already occurred. So we are taking the position that those contracts are invalidated and that they will not go forward, and that there'll be a process that's to be followed, and that process will in fact be followed.
I know that your house is in the line of the proposed route, and that this ruling does not cancel Access Oklahoma outright.
No,
the
no,
OTA.
it doesn't cancel
So
it.
do you plan on challenging Access Oklahoma in another way in the future?
Well, we hope that Access Oklahoma will get our message. If you're going to have a turnpike and you decide that that's the best interest of Oklahoma, let we, the people, and particularly the people that are adversely impacted by that decision, know in advance so that we can speak to our legislators and our representatives and build our coalitions to advance our arguments as to why they should not be constructed or whether they should be constructed in another area. They wanted to put these across Indian lands east of Lake Thunderbird, but because apparently of tribal pushback, it got pushed onto our neighborhoods. So those are the kinds of issues that the public needs to know about, and to have the ability to speak to prior to the decisions becoming final.
And just for the record, the decision does address the rollout of Access Oklahoma, and that since it was one of the issues raised at the meeting without an announcement, that was also invalidated. So in a sense, it does invalidate Access Oklahoma.
Absolutely. I know that just on that note, I have kind of heard from the OTA, and they plan on, they say that the OTA respects the court's decision and will go about bringing new items of business to correct what the court found to be deficient.
Wow.
So do you, knowing that the OTA is considering an appeal, but they are saying now that they will bring up again these contracts and these items, just your thoughts on that?
Well, I hope that they mean what they say and say what they mean. So it's oftentimes difficult in a political arena, and I hope I'm not stepping on too many political toes, to get a straight answer out of politicians. So we want to be sure that the public is protected, that the citizens have input, and that this information becomes a matter of public record so that everyone can have their say in a legitimate form.
What are the punishments for this violation? Criminal punishment.
Yeah. There are willful violations, have criminal penalties up to 1 year in the county jail, and a fine not to exceed $500.
Do you think they should be charged?
I'll leave that up to the man that's up, I think, on the second floor of this building. That's the district attorney, and hopefully he will look at this very seriously. It seems like we prosecute certain crimes more vigorously than we prosecute others.
One thing also just want to bring up just from the OTA statement that I got following this ruling. After saying that they plan on re-bringing new items that the court found to be deficient, the second paragraph of the statement reads, the OTA announced the $5 billion long-range turnpike expansion and improvement plan at the December 7th, 2021 board meeting, and thereafter made OTA representatives available to the media in order to publicize the announcement as much as possible. It seems like a mixed message.
George Strait sings a song that has this lyric in it. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. Now, if you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. That's my answer to that.
In point of fact, when we deposed members of the board of the OTA, including the chairman of the board, Eugene Love, it was clearly stated that none of the board members knew of Access Oklahoma prior to when it was announced on February the 22nd.
So their own board members were unaware of it. How could the public know?
Absolutely.
Is what you're saying.
That's a pretty fair question.
It is.
Yeah.
But their business cronies all knew about it.
Right?
You know,
And politicians.
and contractors. So, bottom line, this is a win for Ward 5 and a win for Norman and a win for transparency. All the citizens and my constituents have been asking was for a seat at the table to have these comments and have their concerns heard. This will force them to go back and redo those meetings, and guess what? We will show up and we will provide public comment. That's all they've been wanting to do. This has long-reaching effects, not just in Norman, but the state of Oklahoma, for transparency in the process. Anytime you have a state agency that has the power to do what they've done and not even talk to the local elected officials, that's not how we do business in Oklahoma. It's not how we should be doing business in Oklahoma. So again, this is not just a win for Norman. I think all of Oklahoma can rejoice in the fact that you can't conduct business in the dark of the night. You know, we will shine the light on the process, and the citizens deserve that.
Absolutely.
That's why we're fighting. This whole reason why we're doing this is to ensure that our citizens and the citizens of Oklahoma have the right for public input in any infrastructure that basically destroys the housing, the environment, everything about a city and a people. This will correct that. Hopefully, OTA keeps their word, and to cure this for us, they have to go back and have these meetings over again and actually stipulate and say with certainty what they intend to do and what their intent is.
Councilman Tortorella is exactly right. This is a great day for openness in government for the state of Oklahoma. No question. And think of it in these terms. It's unimaginable to have a $5 billion with a B dollar program that amounts to half of the state annual budget without any public discourse whatsoever. That's unimaginable. And Judge Olsen did the work and analyzed it, and it was a very thoughtful, thorough decision. And he clearly said that what they did here is inappropriate and unlawful.
Alexa, just one last, you were mentioning kind of what the depositions revealed in terms of who knew what and when. Can you kind of just describe more about when board members or key figures in ODOT and OTA, when they knew about this and just kind of how, I guess, few people knew about this until it was unveiled?
Well, it appears that the board members had no idea about this project until the very time that it was unveiled. We took the deposition of 3 board members, including the chairman, the deputy, and the chair of the finance committee. Nobody knew that. So it was advanced primarily by OTA's executive staff, including the director and the deputy director. They knew way in advance, months in advance is when the work began. The work on the routes, the work on the website. They even purchased domain names that could be potentially used by opponents of the turnpike. Such domain names as Stop OTA were bought using public funds. And that's, in our view, it's totally unacceptable.
Just, Richard, I know that you came in late, just your overall thoughts on just this ruling and what it means for the fact that you're getting summary judgment, not even going to trial in this, just your thoughts.
Well, it's pretty humbling, and we're, Alexia and I are happy to be part of Stan Ward's team. This has been a great team effort. We've had a lot of support from a whole lot of people, including our lead plaintiff, Tassie Hirschfeld, who's right here. Yeah, and I think what these folks didn't reckon on was that we were going to have a whole bunch of folks that knew how to do some deep dives into records and retrieve some information that helped shed more light on what transpired here. And we're grateful to everybody that worked with us.
How many plaintiffs were in the case? I think over
246.
Thank you.
You've spoken to this already, but what does today's developments mean for good government and public interest?
Well, we think that this case has had a galvanizing effect and that it will almost certainly prompt the legislature to take some curative action with respect to turnpikes and maybe beef up the procedures before the OTA can commence and launch any further projects. Hopefully that will be done. The chairman of the Transportation Committee of the Senate and the House have both conducted study sessions, and they've collected a whole lot of information, and we're anxious to see what happens when the new legislature convenes.
And we've actually proposed at one of those legislative sessions, we've proposed a constitutional amendment on eminent domain, whereby if a turnpike project gets authorized or is about to be constructed, that there should be a vote of the citizens who reside in that area so that a majority would approve the project.
Bear in mind that Oklahoma already leads the nation. People like to complain about us bringing up the rear in a lot of categories. But we are #1 in terms of turnpike miles per capita already without this $5 billion boondoggle.
Tassie, lead plaintiff.
Could you please come forward, Tassie?
Share your thoughts. I mean, it's no small undertaking to participate in a process like this. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
I'm overjoyed, and I'm so inspired by our legal team. I have watched them work tirelessly, and the other part of this that I think will get more attention in coming days, just we have not stopped doing research, and the more we uncover about the OTA's history of mismanagement and mistreatment of citizens of Oklahoma, I really feel like this is a pivot point, and that the entire state will become aware and involved and engaged in building a better transportation system for the state.
Gotcha. And Tassie, just to be clear, is your house in the line of the...
It's next door.
Next door? Okay, so it's within the vicinity.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Not to use vicinity, I know that's a triggering word in this case. But Richard, as a local official who was not contacted when this happened, and now that this case is, I know you've got the judge to agree with you in this case, what's next, do you think? What should happen next?
Well, currently, right now, it's in the OTA's hands, it's in their side, and what they want to do next. Okay, if they were smart about this, they would go ahead and have the meetings over again and just redo what they should have done to begin with. As far as the city of Norman, this broke this afternoon. We have the opinion written here, and we'll have to go back to council to see what our next steps will be. I'm sure that council will support whatever we decide to do, as they've always done as a team. And like I said, this is a win for my constituents in Ward 5, Ward 6, and in Ward 8 for transparency in government. This has long been the issue, and the chief complaint is that the city of Norman was not consulted. The city council was not involved in these deliberations when they were deciding to have these conversations about where to put the turnpike. That should never have happened. Okay, so that's the willful violation part of it. Hopefully, when they do go forward, they will invite the city of Norman, city council, to have these conversations so we can do it right the first time. This is telling OTA, you did it wrong. Fix it and don't do it again. Again, this has implications not just in the city of Norman, but statewide. Transparency is what the people demand, and it's our job as elected officials to ensure that happens at the local level and it's at the state level too as well.
I know that there are ongoing challenges, or the OTA is seeking authorization still from the state Supreme Court. I would imagine that that authorization would not be impacted or delayed by this challenge. But just kind of from your, from you all stand up possibly, what do you guys, will this ruling have an impact on the other lawsuits and authorization requests that this?
I don't think it will have a direct impact. It might have some collateral impact, but that's a different lawsuit. We're standing really strongly behind the PIKE off group because we think that they're right, that their lawsuit is meritorious, and we're hopeful that they're going to prevail in the state Supreme Court. So this has been kind of a double-barrel shotgun approach to taking a look at what's happened because it's impacted so many people. But what it does do, it resonates with this idea. The citizens of Oklahoma need to be informed about the business that's being conducted on their behalf by any state agency or political subdivision.
That's all I got. Anybody else? Thank you guys very much for making your time.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys for being here.
We appreciate the press, by the way.
Yes, you guys did great.
Absolutely.
You got me over my fear of cameras.
Hey, Thad, hey, Judge, can you get a picture of the five of us?
Richard,
Get back over there, Richard. Hey, Alexi, come back real quick and photograph. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, look at this picture. Look at this camera right here. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I will get it. I will get it.
Back off.
We win. I love it when a plan comes together, all right? All right.
The spear right there.
All right, thank you all for showing up tonight, thank you.
Yes. Ashley, do you want to talk to Stan?
Cool.
Okay.
Those for the plaintiffs?
Wait, with a big old smile. Do that again. Ready? Okay, wait. Thank you.
There you go. Who needs a copy of Judge Olson's ruling?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ashley, did you get a copy before?
Thank you, sir.
Do you have an extra?
You are. Oh, yeah, no, you're good. Thank you for doing it. I'm sorry.
Here's Stan.
Yeah, no.
I can give you a copy of this ruling. Yeah. No, yeah, online. I need an email. Steve's got the email. I need it pretty quick.
This is Steve Lackmar. He wants a copy of that opinion.
Hey, Steve, I forwarded that email. Have you not gotten it?
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Write your email.
I've got his email address.
Yeah, let's see. Do you have a Randy?
This is fine.
Steve, I might send it to your old email.
Well, your contact
I can do that right now.
Okay, so we're going off camera.